So we know LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith don't get along. And the reason we know that is because Stephen A. Smith never hesitates to let us know that whenever he starts giving a critique about LeBron James on First Take. Now, what happened recently is that LeBron James checked Stephen A. Smith during the third quarter when they were playing against the Knicks. And ever since then, Stephen A. Smith has been going on the tough victim tour. And I've been finding it kind of interesting the way he's been approaching these interviews and telling his version of the story. I'm just going to be honest with you so we can get it out the way. I thought what happened was necessary. I thought it needed to happen. And I thought LeBron was completely within his rights to do what he had to do. Now, Stephen A has every right to critique Bronny James when it comes to his play on the court. But when it comes to you saying you want to plead with somebody as a father and you want to speak about LeBron James as a father, that's when you put yourself in the danger zone to get checked. Because this is the reality of it. Before LeBron James is a basketball player, he's a husband, he's a father, and then he's a son. So when you begin to speak about things that fall in one of those three categories before basketball, then I'm sorry, you deserve to get checked. And LeBron James had to go ahead and feel that energy to see if it was going to be the same and check the temperature. And judging by the video, Stephen A, that energy wasn't the same and that temperature got real low. So this is what we're going to do. I want to go ahead and go through the chain of events, react to them, and just give you my thoughts as things was happening because I was seeing this play out and I knew, Stephen A, you moving a little bit close to the danger zone. And before we get into it, I just want to say this. I think for far too long, the media has gotten way out of line when it comes to speaking about certain topics or people and how they choose to approach their angles. It almost comes off as the media feels like they could say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do, and there's no consequences because they could hide behind the title of media. But that's not the way life works. The way life works is this. You can say whatever you want to say. You can do whatever you want to do on that camera. But words do have consequences. And one of the consequences might not be you getting beat up physically or, getting killed or anything, even though we know those things do happen in the streets. But you can get checked. You can get walked up on. You can have somebody look at you straight in your eyes and say, hey, keep that same energy. That's a part of being an adult, is addressing issues. LeBron James did not victimize him in the sense of physically harming him. He just wanted to check the temperature. So the way Stephen A is going around speaking about this and trying to grab a hold of the narrative and twist it, manipulate it into something that it's not, to me, I see right through it and it's very disingenuous. So let's go to how this all started. This is when Stephen A decided to overreact to Bronny James having a bad game as the 55th pick in the rookie playing against Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey cooks a lot of professional people on his level, but you expect the 55th pick to go in there and be very impactful. It was a hard task to begin with. And not only that, he talks about the playing time. The Lakers at the time were undermanned, so they called up a G Leaguer, which happens to be Bronny James. Any G Leaguer would have struggled. So for him to make it seem like Bronny James is just getting an opportunity to do something that is outside of his scope, that's not true. He's doing exactly what a G Leaguer 55th pick who was called up to play for the professional team. He's doing exactly what is to be expected and what would have happened to any other 55th pick. So let's get into it.
I'm really, really trying to be as respectful as I possibly can be towards LeBron James.
This is already the violation. I thought this was about Bronny. I thought this was about Bronny. You already making it about Bron. Stick to Bronny's play. Why are you making this about Bron out the gate?
One of the top 2 or 3 players in the history of basketball, number 2 in my eyes. A treasure to the game of basketball that we should and will all miss when he is gone. I am pleading with LeBron James as a father.
And that's where you messed up. Those words right there. If you're supposed to be critiquing the basketball game, then critique the basketball game. What are we talking about LeBron James as a father for? What is he doing so wrong? What did he do? Is he being abusive to Bronny James? This isn't abuse. He just put his son into the game that his son loves to fulfill his dream. A lot of fathers have done in the NBA before LeBron James. So, I mean, like, what are we talking about here?
Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad.
See, that's another issue I have in being disingenuous. The reality is, teams wanted to draft Bronny James. It wasn't just the Lakers. Chris Maddox just did a podcast where he was talking to Rachel Nichols, and he said that the Celtics were super serious about drafting Bronny James. The Warriors wanted to draft Bronny James. So this is the thing. Bronny is in the NBA because of what he's done up to this point in his basketball career. He's on the Lakers because of LeBron James. Let's make sure we don't get that confused. Bronny is in the NBA because of the work he's done. He's on the Lakers because of LeBron James.
The first game of the season, opening night, the Griffies in attendance, father-son duo playing in an NBA game for the first time, an absolutely positively wonderful story. And then reality sets in. We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong.
But that's where he is. He's the 55th pick in the G League with the other former 55th picks working their way up. See, this is the thing that bothers me. He speaks about this as if Bronny James is not doing what's necessary to try to become a regular rotational player in the NBA. It's not like Bronny James is saying that, or LeBron James is saying that he refuses to be in the G League. The young man is playing in the G League and was called up. He has a two-way contract. He's doing what's to be expected of him. So, again, Stephen A., what are we talking about here? Why are we spending this much time on the 55th pick? Because I've never seen Stephen A. Smith spend this much time on the 55th pick before, ever.
As you hone your skills and you get better and you legitimately earn, which I believe he has the potential to do, I am rooting for Bronny James. It would be cruel to root against him. It's a wonderful kid. I wish him nothing but LeBron James. And everybody knows what attention that brings. Molly, Doggy, put them up on the screen because I want to see their face when I say this.
Now, listen to what he does here. Let's watch and see what he does here.
Right now, Bronny James is averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. You know what people are saying. You know what they're going to do to this kid. In 13 games, he has played 44 minutes. He has scored 4 points. He is shooting 1 of 16 from the field, 0 for 7 from three-point range.
Now, what is the reason for him to go ahead and rattle off the stat line of the 55th pick of the NBA draft? I want us to really think about that. Why are you doing that? Because what you're doing is you're using it at a way to take digs at LeBron James. And you're already questioning his parenting. Because if you're questioning his parenting, that means you're questioning his wife's parenting as well. Because they, as you see, when it comes to the James family, they move as a unit. So now you're very, very disrespectful here, out of line. But you want to go on these other platforms and play victim though. Come on, dog. You better than that. You better than that.
How are you doing him favors? We know that he's not ready yet.
Duh. That's the reason why he's in the G League. He's a rookie. What are we talking about here? What are we doing? Like, this is what I'm saying. It's a very disingenuous angle and argument to begin with. Made no sense. It's very weird to even take this angle when it comes to a 55th pick. I have never seen him talk about the 54th, the 53rd, the 52nd, the 51st, or the 50th. I haven't even seen him talk about the 30th pick yet of the draft. I haven't even seen him talk about the top 10 picks in the draft yet. But you are focusing on Bronny James only because he's LeBron James' son. But you know better. He's the 55th pick and a two-way player coming from the G League. Why are you spending this much time making a segment out of not his highlights, but his lowlights? Look at them. They're finna start playing the lowlights of Bronny James. Remind you, the 55th pick.
And I'm saying this with compassion. I'm asking the greatest player in the game, one of the top two players in the history of basketball, an ambassador for this game, the face of the league, a four-time champion, a guy that's gone to 10 NBA finals, one of the greatest we have ever or will ever see, who is a basketball savant. You know better than me, better than Doggy, better than JJ Redick, better than Rob Pelinka, better than any basketball analysis or analyst that exists. You know what these numbers mean. You know what it's going to do to your son, to people who are missing out on opportunities, that are busting their tail on other NBA teams in the G League, in Europe, and everywhere else, what kind of opportunity they're starving for. You're exposing your son like this? I know I'm not questioning LeBron James and 10 as if it's dishonorable, Doggy. It's incredibly honorable. He's a wonderful dad.
All of that for the 55th pick. What spots is he taking, dog? Like, what are we talking about here? I'm done with this clip. We finna move on to the next clip because Stephen A is just being weird here. This is being weird. This is being 1000% weird. There's no other way to talk about it. This is being weird. And this is the reason why he got called out. This is the reason why he got checked. So let's go ahead and go on to the next clip here. So now, after this happened, he went on to his podcast, the Stephen A. Smith Show, and went further. You see what I'm saying? He went further. He's talking about this even more. So you're making it a thing. Let's look at this. And mind you, look at what's happening in the background of what he's talking, the footage they're showing.
My position has always been that should have been the only moment we saw Bronny James in a Lakers uniform this season, because he's not ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be an NBA player. I'm not here to tell you that he should give up his dreams and his aspirations. I think the kid's got potential. I think the kid will be in the NBA one day. I watched him in the G League doing this thing. I think he's going to be fine eventually. But that's not the case yet. And because it's not the case yet, and then you see some of these numbers, I do find myself looking at LeBron James instead of Bronny James.
And that's the reason why you got checked. Because you said it out of your mouth that I'm talking about LeBron James. I'm pleading with him as a father. So the father, LeBron James, checked you. What's weak about that? I'm trying to figure out, what did you expect to happen? LeBron James has to go home to his wife and see that you're questioning their parenting as if like they did something that is abusive to their son. Bronny James is doing what the 55th pick is supposed to do: learn, develop, go to the G League, be a two-way player. I'm trying to figure out what is wrong with the journey. He is on the journey. Of course, they know he's not ready. That's why he's on a two-way contract. But what you're doing is making segments. You're adding attention to it. It's not LeBron James adding attention to it. You're adding attention to it. You're making it a bigger deal than what it is because everybody else understands he's the 55th pick. Look at this.
Because LeBron is the basketball savant. LeBron is one of the top two greatest players in the history of the game. LeBron has forgotten more basketball than most people would know. So no matter what we think about Bronny, he knows more. But you see what you see. Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds.
So let's go ahead and move on to the next clip. Okay. Now, it's been reported that after that First Take episode, and then after that Stephen A. Smith episode, LeBron James people reached out to him to let him know that they didn't appreciate the angle he was taking as far as saying that, father and his parenting was in question. And it was reported that Stephen A. Smith ignored LeBron James and his team reaching out to him to talk about it. So if that takes place, why are we shocked? Why are we surprised that LeBron decided to do this? The energy ain't the same, though. You see the way he was talking on First Take? You see the way he was talking on the Stephen A. Smith show? That energy was looking real different. It was looking real low. Real low.
I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop
Need I say more?
this. You're exposing your son like this?
Look at him upset. Look at him upset. Upset. See, this is what happens when you try to do too much. You doing too much. You being too dramatic. You playing games. And this is the thing, Stephen A. know better, because this is the reality. Stephen A. is a father. He just said, I'm pleading with you as a father. For what we know, Stephen A. got two daughters. We don't know what his daughters are doing. So do you think that he would have probably reacted the same way? I mean, I don't think he would have. But let's go on to the next clip of him addressing the situation on First Take the next morning.
Welcome into First Take on this Feel Good Friday. Thank you for being with us. Obviously, Stephen A., an incredible game last night in LA. You were in the building.
And mind you, when LeBron did that, it was in the third quarter during a timeout, and the Knicks was up. They were beating the Lakers. I'm sure LeBron and them got some extra motivation, and he decided to beat the Knicks because that's Stephen A.'s favorite team. So, thank you, Stephen A., you know what I'm saying, for putting some juice in the situation, and they end up getting that W. Thank you, my brother.
And we'll get to what that means for the Lakers and Knicks in just a moment. But S.A., there was a moment in the game that we want to address.
That was LeBron James coming up to me.
And the thing that gets me about how he's going to tell this story, he's going to act real somber. You're going to act real humble now.
Unexpectedly, I might add, to confirm.
Unexpectedly. How is it that you could say all that you said on the camera, on the mic, on television, but you just think you could walk around freely as if nothing is going to happen to you? See, that was his first mistake.
Confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing. I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intentions, Molly, of talking about this at all.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it was a one-on-one, I wouldn't say a conversation, but it was a one-on-one confrontation.
Now, listen to what he said right there. I had no expectations to speak about this. And then pay attention to how much he's been speaking about it since it happened.
But then I wake up and everybody from ESPN and my agent and everybody else were sending me that this thing had gone viral. And so ultimately it was unavoidable, and that is why I have to discuss it now. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard. By all accounts, he's obviously a wonderful family man and a wonderful father who cares very, very deeply about his son. And based on some of the comments that he had heard, or shall I say, I think he thought he heard.
Excuse me? Do you see the way this dude is, man? This dude really be trying to play you. What he thought he heard? You were very clear in what you were doing. I mean, come on, bruh.
He clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it.
As he should, as any father would. D. Wade said that he would have done the same thing. Other players said that they would have done the same thing. He knows other players didn't like his comments about Bronny James, which he'll allude to Draymond Green sending a message his way saying that he didn't respect the way he was taking an angle to critique Bronny James. Because you wasn't really trying to critique Bronny James, you was trying to shoot at Bron. That's just the reality of it. And you got caught.
For the record, his agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to. He never called, because had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have.
So you expect LeBron James to call you when you're saying these things on television. How does that work? See, this is why I say I think that sometimes the media think they are just behind a bulletproof or a force field that allows them the freedom to do what they want, which they can, but it comes with consequences. You can't say what you want or do what you want and think that you could just roam around freely as if nobody's going to be mad at you, nobody's going to see you. Time out for calling you. What are we calling for? You know that they reached out to you. Why are we playing like that? You know that. Come on.
Have accepted that call. Had he wanted to see me, I would have flown out. And
Why? He saw you and he confronted you. You don't need to go ahead and use this as a way to get another scoop, to get a secret interview. That's what it sounds like you was trying to do. He could have called me. I would have flown out and talked to him. You could have called him. How about that? As a father, man to man, you could have called him if you was going to take that angle. It goes both ways.
I would have seen him and I would have had a conversation man to man. But that is not what he elected to do. Instead, he elected to confront me while I was sitting courtside. Ari Emanuel, the head of William Morris Endeavor, one of the agencies that represents me, along with Larry David, was sitting courtside. I was with them for the game. And he walked right up to me and he said what he had to say. And apparently he feels like I was slighting his son. Now let me tell you what I feel.
Now listen to this. Listen to this.
What I would have said if we were in a different environment, because I was not going to engage in a confrontation at that particular moment in that setting.
That was wise.
But if we had that conversation, I would have said to LeBron James, I never would speak negatively about your son.
But you did.
I was talking about you, meaning you, LeBron James. I have nothing but the best wishes for Bronny James. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he flourishes into an NBA star. Usually in other sports, we see all-stars, and on occasion, we'll see their children become stars as well. That doesn't really happen with the NBA. I sincerely hope he's the exception. By all accounts, he's a wonderful kid.
Then allow him to go on his journey. See, that's the problem. You're not allowing him to go on his journey. Everybody else is, but for some reason, you feel like you just have to make this a topic of discussion. You just have to make this a segment, not only on First Take, but on your show. You know why you're doing that? Because just like everybody else, like Skip Bayless, y'all like to use LeBron James for them clicks. You like to use LeBron James to get attention. See, LeBron is very aware of that. That's why he checked you the way he did, because he needed to send a message to the attention seekers out there who think that they could shoot at his son to get at him. Nah. No. We don't give no calls. We don't allow you to fly out and get a free interview and a scoop so you go ahead and report it on First Take. No, we address you head on. We got to check that temperature.
And I don't know anybody who roots against him, and it certainly isn't me. But in the same breath, at the time that we were talking about him, he was percolating to such a degree that the Bronny James stories had gone viral. And so we had to talk about it. And when I said the things that I said, I wasn't talking about Bronny James, because my attitude is he's a rookie. It's going to take some time for him to get himself together. He'll be just fine, especially.
Then why you keep doing it then? So that's what I'm saying. You saying one thing but doing another. What? He's a rookie. He's a 55th pick. It's going to take time for him to get himself together. Then allow the young man to get himself together. Allow it. It's okay. See, this is the thing. You don't have to speak about it the way you do. You're making a choice to do that. You might have to speak about it, but the way you're speaking about it is what you have full control over. And that's why you got checked, because you chose to do it in a way that was disrespectful. Keep it a buck. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try to get slick with the words, because you know how to use those big words and you love to use them. You know, let's put all that to the side and let's just keep it where it needs to be at. You got caught being slick.
With J.J. Redick and the staff coaching him. I was talking about the position that he was put in by his dad.
And what position is that? To be in the NBA? To play for the Lakers? He got to the NBA on his own merit to play for the Lakers, but he's still a G Leaguer. Come on.
because LeBron James has been on the record, and he has said, and I'll read the quote here. There was a quote that he gave in February of 2024. The work and results will ultimately do talking, no matter what the size. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care what mock drafts say. He just works, earned, not given, etc., etc. But he also had said that his son could play on the Lakers right now, and he was better than half the dudes in the NBA. His son could play on the Lakers right now, and he was better than half the dudes in the NBA.
So that's not what LeBron said. He said that his son is better than some of the players in the NBA, and he's not lying. I mean, like, we got to realize the league is 450 players. Bronny James is not the worst basketball player in the NBA. That is a fact. He's averaged more points. There's people who were picked above him who has not had any playing time, who has 0 points, who have playing time and still average less than him. So that wasn't a false statement. Again, you said it yourself that LeBron James know more than anybody else. So how about you stop being messy and trying to project and allow him to be the father to his son? And another thing, who cares if that's what he said? It's his son. It's his son. He is going to uplift and hype up his son as much as possible because that's what fathers do. You don't think he's telling Bronny what he needs to work on? He's telling you, I see my son get up and work every day. He's mentoring, he's fathering, he's putting the good people around Bronny. You acting like the boy is just waking up every morning and just going to play basketball all willy nilly, and he just ended up on in the NBA and on the Lakers. No, he's put in work. Like, come on. See, this is why you got checked, because you're trying to play the gaslighting game. You're trying to act like you didn't say what we all saw that you said.
In the aftermath of all of that, he instructed everybody before the draft that y'all want me, draft Bronny. Wherever Bronny is at, that's where I'll be. I'll do whatever it takes to play with my son for a year. It's not about the money at that point. My point months ago was that because of who you are, one of the top 2 players in the history of basketball, in my estimation, there's an immense amount of pressure that comes with that for his son.
That was going to happen regardless. Now, did LeBron flex his muscle to get Bronny on the Lakers? He did. He did. The same way the Mannings flexed their power so that Eli wouldn't play for who he got drafted with. I mean, has happened time and time again in major sports when it comes to sons of great players. So he did. He flexed it. But so what? He was still the 55th pick and probably could have got drafted higher. But this is what I think a lot of people are failing to realize. And we haven't heard Stephen A. not once speak about this. Maybe Bronny wanted to play with his dad too. How about that? Bronny wanted to play with his dad too. LeBron's been in the NBA for what? Over 20 years? That means he's missed a lot of his children's lives being a professional athlete. Maybe Bronny wanted to be around his dad, and his dad wanted to be around him. What is wrong with that?
And when he talked like that, and what have you, anything that goes awry as it pertains to his son, there's going to be a microscopic eye, even more intensified, on Bronny James because of his dad. And that's when I was talking about, come on, man, this is the situation that you're putting him in.
Notice how the energy is different, though, right? From the other clips, the energy is real different.
That's where I was coming from. I could be a bit more outspoken about it, but to be quite honest with you, to be in that moment, to have LeBron look at me the way that he did, for me to be a father of 2 daughters, for me to know what fathers, how much love fathers have for their children, and to hear what he had to say, it was all about his son. It was almost as if he was saying, you know, you and I, because he and I don't necessarily vibe. It's high and by. We keep it moving.
Key point. It's a key point right there.
Neither of us lose sleep over it. And it's been that way for years. But it was like he was saying, keep that between me and you. Almost as if he was thinking that anything that I said about Bronny was a result of him.
You said, I plead with you as a father to stop this. I mean, Stephen A., come on, dog. What are you trying to pull off here? What are you trying to put? You need, okay, for you to be such a great orator, how about you be a little bit more clear with your thoughts? But I don't want to say that's what the issue was because you said it more than once. You made it a thing. Come on, let's not do that. Don't do that. Stand 10 toes down on it.
And in that situation, again, I wasn't talking about Bronny. I was really, really talking about him.
Okay, so then why did you just say what you just said? Why did you just say what you just said? That's why he told you to keep my son out of what's happening here. Let me go ahead and go to the next clip. As you see the foolishness that's happened. So, when that happened, the next game that happened, LeBron James talking to Richard Jefferson at a game. People was able to kind of read the lips and hear a little bit of what he said. And LeBron was saying that once he heard him say, as a father, that's what he's all right, that's enough, right? Which we all know. After that, Stephen A. Smith goes on the Gilbert Arenas show on his podcast, and this is what he had to say.
When we're talking about the Lakers, that's about LeBron, not Bronny. Bronny wanted to get drafted by any NBA team. Mm-hmm. He wanted to hear his name. It was LeBron that wanted him as his teammate.
Okay, so he wanted to get drafted by any team, and it was LeBron that wanted him to be his teammate. But how do you not know that Bronny wanted to play with his dad too? You speak it matter-of-factly as if you know the intimate details of their conversations that they have at home or when they're with each other.
What I'm saying to you is, if LeBron had rolled up on me, all he had to say, because I said this to Rich Paul when Rich Paul called me, if you had called me and said, Bron pissed off, he wants to see you man to man, I said, what would I have done? Rich Paul said, you'd have hung up the phone and you'd flew to LA. I said, thank you. Rather than come up to me at courtside, all you had to do was say, yo, I need you to see you after the game. You didn't do that. You said, you with my son. No, I wasn't. I was talking about you.
Again, and that's why you got checked. So like what's up with all the animation? What's up with all the dramatics? Dog, this energy wasn't the same. We looking at it. That energy wasn't the same. See, you getting mad and you getting dramatic after the fact. Like on Friday with Debo. I'll be talking again when he gone, though. Come on, dog. We can't take you serious. We don't believe you. You need more people.
It wasn't about your son. I know he's number 55. I know he got work to do. Yeah. I believe that he got the potential. And by the way, I'm rooting for him. I ain't rooting against nobody. But I was talking about your You did this. Number one, we know I'm right. Number two.
And that's the issue I have right there. There you go. I'm right. See, you so concerned about being right in the topic that doesn't even really concern you. It really don't. All right, so look, this is just how I feel about this. And let's get back to it. This is just how I feel about this. When you speak about a man's parenting, when you speak about a man's child, when you speak about family, you're going to get checked for it. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care what it looks like to others. Once you start crossing the line and you start doing things that require you to talk about basketball, I have to do what I have to do because LeBron James, you don't think Savannah felt the way? What about Zuri and Bryce? His Bronny's other siblings got to hear about this. Yes, it's public figures. They've been famous for a long time. You don't think they understand that Bronny is going to be critiqued? Come on now. That's nothing new to them. They expected that. But when you start taking it in a different direction, then of course, we got to go do things differently too. So this is my thing, man. I want Stephen A. just stop. Just stop. The tough guy act, it's weak. That's weak. LeBron checking you wasn't weak. Ain't nothing weak about that, in my personal opinion. And I see the fanboys, you know what I'm saying? I see the LeBron haters online, y'all is everybody, everybody want to exercise those thumbs on social media. But in reality, we have seen fathers get into fights over less at little league games, at high school games. You feel what I'm saying? College. So, like, to act like this is some type of new concept that a father is going to defend their child is beyond me. It's like, Stephen A. Stop it. We know that you have the power to swing the narratives and do things to make people feel a different way because you on TV every day. And LeBron's been above all of this for a very long time, and he got tired of it. Enough was enough, and he checked the temperature. So, look, I want y'all to tell me how y'all feel in the comments about this whole situation. But I want to make this very clear to you. Go look at Marcellus Wiley video about the situation. Look at Chris Maddox when he had a conversation with Rachel Nichols. It was already reported before Bronny got drafted in NBA that other teams wanted to draft him. So the whole narrative that Bronny is only in the NBA because of LeBron James is wrong. He's only on the Lakers because of LeBron James. That's correct. But Stephen A. acting like LeBron shouldn't have said anything to him when we just went over it. He said it more than once that he was speaking about LeBron. So why are you surprised? We ain't calling you. We're going to check the temperature. We're going to see you. Let's look at your eyes, man to man. I think it's a necessary moment that needed to happen. Carmelo Anthony said it too. Hey, no more calling. We got to address this as men. But see, Stephen A. likes to hide behind the cameras. All that talking, oh, these players could run up on me at the game. I mean, they could see me at the game. I ain't hard to find. Okay. Well, that's what happened. So, look, y'all, I just wanted to give my 2 cents in the bank of opinion about this situation. I thought Stephen A. Smith got what he deserved. I thought LeBron did what he had to do to protect his family, to protect his children. I don't think he's tripping off of Bronny being critiqued as a basketball player. But you question a man's parenting, you put yourself in a danger zone to get checked. So tell me what y'all think about this in the comments. Let's chop it up there. I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Peace.